Alrighty, hello and welcome to a Wednesday stream of Starfleet Command Orion Pirates Plus mod. It has been some time since we've actually been able to do this. We have been quite busy and the weather has not been particularly cooperative, but we are finally back here with our Federation versus Klingon campaign, and I, for one, am pretty excited to get started, so let us get ourselves loaded back in to our Federation campaign. Hello Raider, hello Lorendell, and hello Mavrin. Glad to see people are already starting here in the stream before I even got here. So, this is the state of the galaxy at the moment. We're currently squaring off against the Klingon Empire, as we can see down here in the south in red. And, well, we've got a little bit of an incursion going on here. We've already managed to take this planet, and we're pressing in towards the planet of 913. I believe Cronus is somewhere up here, so we're not actually hitting anything super important. But once we manage to blast through all 55 of this Empire defense here, we should grab that. We're currently in our heavy battlecruiser USS Vega, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a Kirov-class, yep, a BCG. Equipped with additional missile launchers and 4 photon torpedoes. So with a quick check through, make sure that we're fully loaded out in everything. We are. Let us set out into space and get this party started. So we're going to immediately jump on the planet itself, see if we can't get something interesting going on. And we're going to take the planetary assault. The shipyard assault, honestly, would probably be a little bit safer to actually try and pull off, but the planetary assaults tend to be a little bit more fun. Or at least, normally. Well, there goes the defenders. So already the AI has unfortunately spawned at the wrong position on this planet, which happens to have a gigantic ring, which blew him up. This is a PL-6, so not particularly well defended. He only has 8 Phaser 3s, something we can reasonably easily knock our way through, and a single Klingon heavy cruiser. Oh wow, it's this one. So this is a sight you don't get to see all that often. This is actually the original light cruiser model from the normal game. And yeah, we don't generally come across this guy. Normally just because he's been replaced by the D5. So every so often it does still show up. I don't know if that's because just there's a ship in the game that hasn't been accounted for or what, but that is more than a little amusing that we're having to run into him. Let's send out a probe, find out exactly what it is we're dealing with. At the same time, let us get ourselves up to some level of defense. We want the forward shields reinforced. We would also kind of appreciate some electronic countermeasure going on. I'm going to set up with 2 for now. It is an E7. This poor little Klingon ship. He didn't stand a chance against the rings. We're looking at 4 disruptors, 2 missile launchers, and then 4 Phaser 1s, 4 Phaser 3s. That's pretty pathetic. I played that ship in Klingon Academy. So apparently he has a single nacelle in Klingon Academy. We will unfortunately completely annihilate him. He probably doesn't stand much of a chance. I think I'm at a decent enough range. We're going to overload the photon torpedoes. We're going to get in nice and close and play really fun games with him. At first, though, we're going to set our path away from him. He is currently fighting us on our electronic countermeasure. Or rather, he's not bothering to. He's gone to max of his own. Yeah, 4 points of ECM. So we're going to have to go... We'll go 4 and 2. Sort of invert what he's doing. That way, if he really wants to get good accuracy shots on us, he's going to actually have to try. So he's already opened fire with some long-range phaser work. Nothing too serious has managed to been done so far. And we're ready to go in on him, so we're going to turn back in and actually make this happen. The tractor beam is fully prepared to basically hold him at bay, and that'll also cancel out his attack shift. Light cruiser versus light dreadnought. It's not a light dreadnought. She's a heavy battlecruiser. So we just happen to have... And if we think about it, we're actually not one of the more powerful of the heavy battlecruisers, because there's the New Jersey class, which has 6 photon torpedoes, and then there's the Bismarck with the plasma torpedoes. Alright, we got you. So we cut through his forward defenses completely and totally, and our forward shields actually managed to hold off against that. So we're going to pull on through and get away from him, set our photon torpedoes back down to normal mode so they're not sapping away all the power. He did deal a pretty decent amount of damage to our rear shield. So... he's only lost a single disruptor so far, but we probably have cut through most of his armor. We also knocked out his most powerful shield, which on a Klingon ship, that's a pretty big deal. I'm going to quickly come over here and check how much power do I currently have available. Not as much as I'd like. I'm going to set this down to 2, just to see if I can't manage things, and we'll shut off the ECCM. I don't think he's got enough power to handle both attack and defense side on that. He may astonish me by going in one direction or the other. Phasers are ready once again. Let's pop some missiles and get them heading on towards his way. He should be able to handle all of these, especially with that point defense system. but it might result in him attempting to do one of those, which is launch a Wild Weasel. We're going to drop down to a speed of basically 0 as we pull up right on top of him, and we'll nail him with all of our phasers the moment that Wild Weasel turns off. In fact, we're about to have half our photon torpedoes ready to go, too. So once those are ready, we should have no trouble at all. And he did open fire immediately on us, and was not successful. Photon torpedoes managing to punch one through as well. So we're systematically working this ship apart. Increase speed a little bit and get another salvo of missiles out as soon as they're cycled. I'm really getting the feeling that I don't have the forward shield reinforcing the way I wanted to. Oh, but apparently I do. 2 more photon torpedoes. 2 very good hits right there. And our forward shield reinforcement is more than enough to handle his counterfire. We're going to start pulling through a little bit and wait for our phasers to get back online. We've got a little bit more power we can sap from. Oh, he's decided he wants to grab onto us. Wait, no, he changed his mind. Waited 3 weeks for this. Yes, 3 weeks to try and see us knock out a Klingon heavy cruiser. And wow, that's pretty off-bore for a normal disruptor. I'm actually fairly impressed by that one. So I think we've got him with this missile salvo. Or maybe not. He may be able to shoot down all of them. And it will... Well, we didn't quite kill him, but he wasn't able to shoot down the whole salvo, so that's definitely working towards us. Most of his systems have gone offline at this point. I should be able to finish him off just with phaser work. And that's probably, well, the photon torpedo's also almost ready. And it's much more fun to kill things with photon torpedoes. So we'll get ready to line him up. Hopefully he's not going to be able to bring this forward port shield around in time. Oh, 1 hit, 1 miss, and unfortunately that did not do quite enough damage. Well, if that's not going to do, the phasers certainly will. And tore him apart. Alright, time to bombard a planet. Now, lucky for us, he's not actually a defended planet, so we shouldn't have too much trouble to work with. Going to come over here and... we're going to go 6 points of electronic countermeasure and sap the shield budget in its entirety. We're going to get right next to this planet, distance of no more than 3, and then bombard it until it's gone. Had this been a PLPH, a phaser-armed defensive planet, it would have an additional 8 phaser 4s, which are just insanely powerful. They're the most powerful phaser weapon in the game. An additional 8 of whatever nation's heavy weapons that you're fighting. So in the Klingons' case, it'd be an additional 8 disruptors, which are not exactly impressive. Federation, it would be photon torpedoes. If you're fighting Romulans or Gorn, it would be plasma torpedoes. But since he's only got the phaser 3s, he doesn't have a range of beyond 3, so we're just going to sit right here. And stop, and fire. And those phaser 3s could actually do a pretty decent amount of damage if they were actually able to get on target with us. So as long as we hold out a range, we're fine. But where we are now, he can't touch us. So we're just going to fire over and over until we eventually break through. So Federation ships do not siege very well. They're not very good at it, unfortunately. And because of that, had we run into an actual defended planet, a PLPH, we would have had to spend quite some time actually busting through the shields. So quick check, we've got 6 more, 5 more, 4 more. And there we go. Send over the Marines, and that'll be a planet taken. I think this is the first mission we've flown in the Vega, isn't it? Because I don't think we had any opportunity to do so in the last stream that we actually did. So not bad for a maiden mission. And we'll start picking up speed and getting away from this. No reason to, I just prefer to be on the move rather than sitting still as we stare down these giant rings, which I'm always terrified will somehow run into me. Alrighty, so the planet has been taken. That'll reduce the Emperor defense down to 50, and I believe we get 495 prestige? Or something around there. Yep, 495. So that'll help regain however much prestige we need to make until we move up to the next ship. Although we do need to come back down to the supply yard and restock a couple of Marines, as well as restock the missile launchers, because we don't want to go into battle at half loads. So fully rearmed, and back on the aggressive. Want to just poke this planet as much as possible until it finally collapses and becomes ours. And that will improve our economy and hurt theirs, which means we'll get better ships more often, and they will not. Alright, so we are running into PLPH-13. Okay, so this battle is going to take a little bit longer, just on the shelling side of things. And we're squaring off against a single heavy cruiser. He's a D6U. There could be another ship somewhere off here. We have no allies on our side this time. Let's increase our speed to see how fast we can go. Not bad, actually. We'll reduce it to about 2. So we'll maintain a speed of about 15 as we cruise on into this battle. A D6U. Well, you are an older heavy cruiser, if I'm not mistaken. Although it does look quite a lot like a Katinga. In fact, it seems to be using the same model. Send a probe. We'll find out exactly what it is we're getting involved with. Make sure we don't neglect our shield reinforcement. It's a critical system that will keep you alive through very difficult times. He immediately went to the 4 electronic countermeasure. So we're going to go 4-2 as well. shot from our shield budget a bit. Oh, never mind. Wow, you are completely ignorable, and I didn't see any assistance. So aside from this planet, this battle is going to be relatively easy. We're just going to have to, unfortunately, shell the planet, and that's going to take quite some time. He is going up for the maximum electronic countermeasure, so I will follow, I think. I think you're a commando cruiser, aren't you? Equipped with a whole ton of marines. Photon torpedoes are ready. You know what? We're going to overload them. We're going to go maximum power on that. So he only has, what is it, 7 phaser 2s? And I think 4 of those phaser 2s can only shoot backwards. So this ought to be a relatively simple battle. I could prep a scatter pack. That's actually a good idea to actually knock out the planet. His defenses are actually pretty considerable. Lucky for us, he is a Klingon one. Oh no, he's a fighter carrier. Ooh. Things just got a little bit more difficult. So running into him and basically bumping him with the tractor beam and then nailing him with all the photon torpedoes, that's not going to be quite as clear-cut a victory as I thought it was going to be. We're going to have to try and avoid as much damage as we can from these fighters because they will deal a lot of it. So hopefully we can hit and run, although he is maintaining a speed of 20 on those fighters, so that's going to take some work. Alright, how much forward shield reinforcement do I currently have? 6.5. I'd like a little bit more. And long-range fire from the planet already going out. And cut the tractor beam, please. There we go. And we'll drop a mine. And there we got through. We were expecting that, but we had hope. So mine, or their phasers already getting through our defenses. Although we were able to take the rest of that on others. And also, it's not a forward shield, so that's not going to be as terrible as it could be. Although him being right there is not exactly a great position for us to be in. We're going to start pulling away a little bit. We don't have a whole ton of armor, us being a Federation battlecruiser. And I think it's time for us to focus on these Swifts. Oh wow, they're doing 24 speed. That's pretty impressive. Hi, you've isolated yourself from the group. So we're going to pull off in this direction, keep the repairs going on. We got to get things working again. But first the fighters must die. Oh wow, they shut down most of that. Not all of it though. 2 phasers damage repair. Yep, we are working on it. Unfortunately, he has just enough phaser firepower to make him annoying. Not dangerous, just annoying. And he is now running for home. Okay. So, dump a mine on them. Let's see how they're going to have to deal with it. Hopefully they will break off in different directions and I can narrow on the one. Good. Alright, so... Klingon taking a chapter from the Hydra book. Klingons have a lot of fighters in this game. Alright, pop some of these. And phasers. Reducing the defenses. Probably should not have fired the missiles. Yeah, the missiles were a waste. I believe we have our scatter pack done, so we'll prep the next one. Where's our next squadron of K-Swifts that we are going to engage? You. Oh no, you're much closer. So we're just going to set them to our stern for now, draw the distance out, get our phasers to reset, come back at them, and take them down. Losing the starboard side shields was not exactly great. I'm not happy about it, but there could be worse things. But the key is we got to make sure that they are not flying in the same direction. I will pop a triplet of missiles on this one, because they might be able to shoot them down, but if not, wow, they got all of them. It's actually pretty impressive. And a mine. Because I'm hoping, well, if you both break out at the same time, that may... Never mind, I may have made things worse. That's alright. We got enough phaser firepower to wipe out one of these groups. Trick is, which one do we want? Honestly, it's gonna be you. Because you're gonna be right close to me. Phasers are what? Dump another mine. And we'll get you with the other phasers. Good. Oh, and they hit the mines as well. Lovely. Alright, so we've got this one. They're more battle carriers more often, so you'll mostly see them sort of as cruisers already that have a whole host of weapons anyway. They don't really go into the just pure fighter carriers. The D6Us are not exactly common. I don't recall seeing them very often, but they are definitely out there. They tend to design their fighters really similarly to the Marak, if I'm remembering correctly. And another mine. And which way are you going to go? You're just going to go right into it? Because I'm on board with this plan. That was a great plan. I was very happy that you decided to go through it. Alright, so we've taken out 3 of the 4 fighter squadrons. There's one more still on board the D6U. And we can start reducing our speed since we're not trying to outrun his fighter groups. And we can really start to get work. Oh, his shuttle bay's been destroyed? Oh, that really sucks to be him. So without a shuttle bay, he can't actually, he can't launch those fighters again. So he's completely reliant on his phasers. Let's get these out. This will absorb most of his weapons fire. Oh wow, I did not expect that to happen. So he's dead. Onto the planet, and this is going to be the difficult part of this battle. Fighting a single fighter carrier who doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of weapons, not exactly the hardest thing to do. I mean, the fighters themselves can require you to take a little bit of a careful approach, but other than that, he's not all that difficult to kill. But the planet, on the other hand, well, if you're not familiar with this game, you're about to become acquainted with one of the more difficult targets in the game. And that is a planet. So these phaser 4s, he's got 8 of them. They just deal monumental amounts of damage. I've alluded to this in the last mission that we did. But they will cut through my forward shields like a hot knife through butter, even through our reinforcement. Phaser 3s, we're not going to bother getting within range, but he's got 16 of those. And then the 8 disruptors he's got on top of that. The disruptor's not the worst heavy weapon in the world to have to deal with, but still, that's a lot of disruptors, and it's not particularly fun. So that's actually the same number of disruptors as on a Klingon battleship. So how much power do I got? 8.5. Interesting. Why is that? I'm not quite sure why the planet is not prioritizing that. Photon torpedoes, proximity, open fire. So we need to start systematically and continuously dealing damage to this place. Oh, his disruptors can't fire. Lovely. So the planet is a little bit glitched, it would appear, and his disruptors will not be able to actually shoot around his own bulk. So we're not going to have to worry too much about that. Yeah, he's shooting himself with that. It's not actually hitting anything, but or not dealing any damage, but it's not getting past us. So the difficulty is going to be getting through his reinforced shield, because he is capable of putting out a lot of shield reinforcement, and he has a lot of point defense to go with it. So we need to somehow come up with a method of getting through his defenses, and the way that we're going to do that is through missiles. Okay, taking a little bit more fire, but our shields are more than up for the challenge at the moment. So we're probably not going to get through based purely on our proximity photon torpedoes, because 16 damage probably isn't enough to cut through how much reinforcement he's got, or if it is, it's so slight as to be almost unnoticeable. But if we combine that with a full missile barrage, we may get what we need. Although getting a full missile barrage past the 16 phaser 3s, that's going to be a bit of a trick, but the closer I can get, the better it'll be. So we can, I think we can launch 10 missiles before it starts having a problem with us. And really, I probably should attempt the Merak technique of going to a distance and then returning back in and pacing my missiles. I'm actually kind of irritated that I didn't do that, because that would probably have been helpful. Someone else has mentioned that planets can't use their heavy weapons because they hit themselves with them. Yeah, they do. I think that's a result of the new planet model. I think there's something not quite set up right with how big the planets are based on their weapon position. Because you place the weapons on the model by using an XY coordinate, and that you can find in the ship list. So you can change that for any ship that you want. And so since the planets have changed models and the size is now different, I think the heavy weapons are inside the ship, and since they're technically kind of projectiles, they can't shoot through itself. Okay, we're getting a lot closer than I thought I was going to. But he hasn't really done so much damage as not being able to handle it. He's been staggering his launches, which has helped too. So the closer I can get, the more damage I can deal. It's just really, really scary to get this close to a planet that I know can annihilate my forward shields in basically one salvo. So, as long as he keeps his fire off in the way that he's just shooting a couple at a time, we should be okay. We're actually getting a lot of good accuracy out of our photon torpedoes. The proximity mode really working quite nicely. I don't think I can get to a range of 8. Alright, so we're going to wait for the photon torpedoes to charge up, and we're going to attempt to fully crack down on this defense. Alright, so that.
Losing missile control.
And okay, so we weren't able to penetrate. But we do know that we've got their shields down pretty far. Surprisingly far, actually. I'm going to see if I can't stack up enough missiles in order to get by their defenses. Because I would very much like to. But looks like I can only control 6 missiles at a time. That is very unfortunate. Are we through? Not quite. Okay, so the defenses are almost down. I'm actually kind of surprised that we've managed to do as much damage as we have with just proximity photon torpedoes. Alright, there's no chance we're getting missiles through that, unfortunately. We're going to save the rest of them for when we're bombarding the planet itself. So we're almost through that defensive shield. Just a little bit more fire will finally put us through. Oh, that's unfortunate. So, continually firing with photon torpedoes and over. So the Federation is one of the not... I can't say they're the worst, because Klingons definitely exist. But they're very not good at doing long sieges, because their photon torpedoes are very limited in how much damage they can deal. So a photon torpedo will deal 8 damage, but it'll deal 8 damage across its entire range. If you set it in proximity mode, the photon torpedo will only do 4 damage, but it'll do it at a very far range. And if you overload it, it'll do 16 damage, but it'll only do that after a range of 8. Whereas most other heavy weapons will do a lot of damage up close, but the further away you get, the less damage that it does, like our phasers. So, with the way things are currently set up now, I'm going to see if I can't get a little bit closer. Because if I can get within a range of 8, that's 50% accuracy. And 50% accuracy on photon torpedoes, on regular photon torpedoes, that's something good. What's the range of the transporter? 5.9? Yeah, we're really starting to run it. Get me just slightly closer. I'm going to regret this, but I want it. 7.9, all stop. Okay. So, if you've got any additional power, give it to me now. Okay, photon torpedoes engaged. So those were direct fire photon torpedoes, and they did not hit, it does not appear. Which is not tremendous, although it looks like the shields are currently still holding. Barely. Give me 4 points of electronic countermeasure. Give me 6 points of electronic countermeasure. You know what, we're just not going to bother with ECCM at this moment, although I may come to regret that. Okay. Good couple of hits with the photon torpedoes. What's the range of the phaser for? 100. I mean, it can reach out and poke you from way far away. So, that's not something you can avoid. So I really gotta hope that all of my photon torpedoes can hit this next salvo, because that'll get through. Unfortunately, we're barely not there. And I don't dare attempt to fire any of my other phasers, because if we do, we will suddenly lose basically all of our power that is currently powering the shield. Okay, still not through, are we? And yeah, they still have some shield left. We're working it, we're almost there. If Marines can hit and run the phaser 4, they can. Whether or not you want to attempt to drop your shield to do it, that's the risk you'd have to run, because they've got multiple phaser 4 mounts. Oh, we're through. Okay, so we are indeed through. Unfortunately, I really don't dare fire my photon torpedo or my phasers, because if I do, I will not have sufficient shield power in order to actually handle his incoming shots. But we are through, so we can now start dealing damage to the planet itself, which means eventually we will start to break this thing. And the more damage we deal to the planet, once we start getting through the armor, then we'll start applying damage to his defensive systems and his power systems. Less power he's got, and the less labs that he gets will reduce the amount of shield regeneration he has, which will keep his shields down longer, and mean that they can't get as strong. But it is a bit of a nerve-wracking thing to do as you sit and wait and just constantly take fire, because if he rolls fairly well on how much damage those phaser 4s can do, then he will cut through these shields in no time flat. So the reason why I don't dare fire the phasers is because it'll draw from the phaser capacitor, which will immediately order as much power as it can to fill the phaser capacitor, which will then get us killed. Because at 22.5, that is barely enough power to keep our systems working. But we are doing work here. We are systematically starting to whittle away at him. But this is why the Federation and the Klingons are the worst siege races in the game. Their heavy weapon just does not deal a ton of damage, and they have no real way to mitigate incoming damage. So they are very difficult to use. It takes them a long time to siege anything out. The Hydrons have one of the better siege weapons. The Hellbore will always go to the weakest shield, so if they reinforce a shield to try and prevent you from damaging it, as they're currently attempting to do every time they can get the shield up, then it doesn't matter, because the Hellbores will just seek out the weakest shield and deal damage to that instead. The Romulans and the Gorn are bloody fantastic at it. The Romulan's much better than the Gorn, because plasma torpedoes deal an absolute metric ton of damage and are just insane. And with Romulans, you can actually start a siege campaign against planets from your very first frigate, because you have the cloaking device, which will allow you to basically ignore most of the damage you're about to take. So you'll fly up to a planet, you'll cloak, you'll let them shoot at you, you'll decloak, you'll fire your plasma torpedoes and then recloak. The Gorn have it a little bit harder. You can't really siege as the Gorn until you get your plasma R torpedoes. You can sort of do it with S-type plasma torpedoes, but it's not easy. And with that, with the Gorn, what you can do is you can use the sandpaper approach, where you can use what's called enveloping plasma torpedoes, which will deal damage to all shields instead of just the one shield that the AI will reinforce. But that's much more dangerous because you've got to get close, because plasma torpedoes don't have exactly the longest range, and without a cloaking device, you got no way of dealing with that. The Merak are the best siege race in the game, because they can spit out 160 missiles at something, and there's not a single planet in this game that can survive that. And in fact, if we had enough drone links, we would have done something like that, but we can only control 6 missiles at a time, so we can't get the saturation required to do that sort of attack. Let's see who's left. Oh, the ISC are really good at it because they have they have plasma torpedoes, but what they also have is the PPD, the plasmatic pulsar device, and that deals damage both to the shield that's being reinforced as well as the 2 shields next to it. So that prevents the AI from being able to just attempt to ignore your incoming damage through the reinforcement. And I think that's all the races, right? Federation, Klingon, Hydrons, Romulans, Gorn, ISC, Merak. Oh, Lyrans! Haha! Lyrans are terrible. Oh wait, there needs to be an explanation attached to that. Their heavy weapon is the expanding sphere generator, which has a maximum range of 3. So, unless you brought a Mauler to the fight, which is Romulan technology that the Lyrans are using, you're screwed. Because you're not going to be able to siege that planet up very efficiently. I mean, even the Lyran battleship would just have one hell of a time trying to break this, because it just wouldn't have a weapon that could operate. Because in order for you to use that expanding sphere generator, you've got to be within range of all 16 of those Phaser 3s. And while the Phaser 4s hurt, once the Phaser 4s and the Phaser 3s are shooting at you, well, now you're just screwed. It's not a fun thing to have to deal with at all. Well, we are through the shield, we're just not dealing a ton of damage through that shield. But we are at a range where we can't switch back to our less powerful but more accurate photon torpedoes. Because the proximity photon torpedo can't fire at a range of under 8. So, being where we are, we're reliant on using our full power photon torpedoes. Which is not a terrible thing, but it does mean that it takes a while. So, sitting here, desperately hoping that they don't actually manage to punch through. Because if they do, we're just not going to have a good day. We have a little bit of buffer zone. Because while they are not quite getting through our reinforcement, our forward shield can still stand for a little bit. But yeah, Lyrans are just terrible. I do not know the point of Lyrans. They just seem so horrifically outgunned by everybody in this game. In this game and in Starfleet battles. I just do not see the utility of the Empire. I really wish I could start opening fire with phasers, because phasers are such a huge deal for the Federation. They are one of the best weapon systems on a Federation ship. Like, the photon torpedo is fun and flexible, but the Federation likes to stack up just an absolute metric ton of phasers. I mean, we have 10 phasers, and we're a battlecruiser. 10 phasers is what some light dreadnoughts have. It's pretty fun. And it's a solid, reliable, and constantly usable weapon. Well, we have stunned a couple of systems, so there is that working for us. Oh, what the hell. Throw out a couple of missiles, see what happens then. Yep. You don't want to get anywhere near that. That little, like, line of lasery death, not something you want to fight very often. Oh, that almost knocked out the shield entirely. Ugh. If we had friends, this would be different. If we had brought the Gorn along, the Gorn could tank the fire and we could get closer, they could use their plasma torpedoes. Or if we were playing as the Merak, we could just annihilate this planet in one titanic salvo of death and destruction. That would be fascinating. But until then, we are stuck plinking bit by bit. Oh, we've knocked out one of the Phaser 3s. How lovely. We have a single missile left. I'm going to use it just to get it off the ship. Makes us lighter and more efficient. I'm sure of it. planetary assaults, not exactly the most fascinating thing with the Federation.
Damage past their shields.
Seems like the Merak missile barrages are a bit broken. Yes. Yeah, they certainly are for a limited period of time. As long as you have ammunition, you are one of the most deadliest units in the game. But at the same time, there's a lot of ways to mitigate that damage. So the way you get that 116 missile launch is you take an advanced bombardment cruiser that has 6 MIRV missile launchers. If you're not one of those ships, the maximum you're getting is, what, 15 missiles? The most number of independent missile launchers that I can think of, aside from the 14 on the advanced bombardment cruiser, is their battleship has 12. And 12 missiles is actually not terribly difficult to deal with. Even 18 missiles, if you throw in a scatter pack, just fly away and set all of your phasers to defend against it. Like, especially by the mid to late era, where everybody's packing some sort of anti-missile defense system, and half the races are using Gatling phasers, that's not actually all that difficult to stop. The difficulty comes in when you start getting 116 because the MIRVs got thrown into the mix. And even then, we actually gamed out that battle. We took a Federation battleship. We're doing a great job now. Let's get a little bit closer. Oh, good. They're down to just a couple of these emplacements left that we can fire at. So we actually did the fight from the other side. We faced against an advanced bombardment cruiser as a Federation battleship, and we stopped every single missile that came out of the salvo. Now, it was 44 missiles because in order to get the 116, you need to stack up multiple salvos onto something. But it's not impossible. Like, one-on-one in ship combat, the Merak are not unstoppable. And the Merak battleship line is actually solely and entirely disappointing. Alright, so how low have we gotten him? We're going to stop just outside of range of the phaser 3s that, for the most part, don't exist anymore. Marines... Oh, we're down to 2 already. Good. Send to the Marines. We're gone. We are done here. So now we just need to wait for our Marines to actually grab the planet, and we're gone. 1/4 of the stream here? What? So... Oh, is that how long we've been... Oh, on this planet? Yeah, 23 minutes. Jeez. This is not even the worst thing to do. Like, if you really want to spend a lot of time just sitting and attempting to shell something, fight a starbase, because they spin. And then you have to pick your exact moments on when to shoot, and every miss is just incredibly painful. You will spend literally over an hour doing that. And I have with an X-type heavy cruiser. I think. I'm 90% sure I'm remembering that right. That episode was back in Season 1 and got spread across 2 different episodes. And I cut out a huge chunk in the middle, too. It's the first time I think that I ever had to actually edit an episode. Alright, let's get ourselves restocked, and we're going to throw ourselves back at that planet, unfortunately. We'll take a planetary assault for the next... Or a shipyard assault, if that shows up. Or a holding action, I'll rather take that. You watched that one, Lordo? God, that was a painful episode to have to just go through. There were several times where I almost quit. Where I was like, you know what, it's never going to work. Just go home. Let's end it and leave, and we'll come back some other time. Alright, today we are being escorted by HMS Perseverance. I served on that ship once. And HMS Perseverance. Wow, so my age-old Envision-free role-playing days are returning to me with a vengeance. That is a nice background. And we're squaring off against a D7W, a heavy cruiser, and a heavy cruiser. Are you all D7Ws? Just for the fun of it. D6U, D7W, D7D. Only to over about 40 minutes. Yeah, but the Starbase episode was even worse. Because it went so far over that I stopped recording. And then picked up the recording again. Oh. This game can be evil at times. Especially if you're playing the Federation. Federation ship combat, ton of fun. Because it's very intricate on the things that you can do. Federation siege work is just a horrific slogging match of why am I here? What did I sign up for? Please God, somebody give the Federation Mauler technology. Went back and watched most of the seasons in the background whilst I was working. Oh, those early seasons are terrible. They really are. Just the sound quality alone is just horrific. Makes me wince. Alright, so there are two ships named the exact same thing with two very different classes. I'm going to let the carriers go fight each other, and I'm going to focus myself on the D7W, because I think you might be the more important of the ships. Let's sap most of the shield budget to get on top of this guy. That was in the Marak campaign. That was embarrassing. Chattering away about something that I don't even remember about, but then we managed to take our brand new carrier, just ram it right into a planet. That was embarrassing. That was not a great episode. But yeah, that's season 3, I want to say? Because I think season 4 was the ISC campaign. Oh, hi. Okay. Bye.
Taking hull damage.
I mean, you can't not take that shot. Yeah, it hurt. Yeah, we knocked out our forward shields because we overloaded the photon torpedoes and was not expecting that, but still. He hit a few, if I remember. No, I only hit the one. I've only ever crashed into one planet. I've only ever crashed a ship one time. Oh, long-range fusion cannon fire. Followed up, of course, by a single Hellbore shot. The Hellbore's actually getting work done. We're going to lob a couple of missiles off his way. And then prepare the repairs. There we go. Yeah, the AI refuses to get anywhere near planets, though. They are terrified of them. Time with a siege an asteroid base and a nebula as feds. So smart with the fusion cannon. Ah, yes. AI fusion cannons. Unstoppable engines of destruction is what they are. Oh, I need to shut off the overload. We're done with that. A siege an asteroid base and a nebula. Oh, yeah. Ugh, that was... Was that his feds? Maybe it was. Because of the photon torpedo problem. So he has more than enough point defense system in order to handle any sort of thing that I throw at him. So I'm not even going to bother firing any more missiles into this. I'm just going to rely solely on my photon torpedoes, which I've got 2 ready to go. I'm going to save until I can get close enough to him with it, because I think I can get a nice back shot, unless he turns into me, in which case I'll get a nice, easy open front shot. Unselect the missile launchers, please. Thank you. And we're good. Now we got half the hit. And phasers. Just punishing him a little bit more for getting anywhere near me. Oh, lovely. And can I follow up with missiles? I'm gonna try. Point blank range missile launch. I still managed to take care of most of it. Photon torpedoes are selected on the port side. We can come around. Are you losing a cruiser because the AI crashed it? Yeah, that sounds familiar. So indisputable, unfortunately. Yeah. There's a reason why I generally stay solo in this game. You spend a lot of cash to increase the difficulty of the game and decrease the effectiveness of your own people. That's the real thing that irritates me by it, because it judges what to throw against you based on your entire fleet. And so if you increase your fleet size, you end up facing more people. So it becomes just even more difficult. Oh, you have enough tractor beams to handle all of that. That actually kind of impresses me. Phaser 3 is doing a little bit more plinking damage. Not able to hit that tractor beam, which would have been nice. But I think we've got a final phaser follow-up. How are there still enemy fighters? You have Gatling phasers and better fighters than they do. Did you seriously just... Got him. Okay, good. On to the D60. Wow, there's a nice little sun wall going on here. We're just going to have to take the slow boat around it. Or I might have enough room to dive in here. Let's try. Yeah, maybe. Hopefully. We're gonna go for it. We may as well try. May as well attempt to thread the needle. If we fail, all we're gonna lose is a couple of shield points. And... can we make it work? I think we can. No, we're gonna get hit. Oh, we're not. Really? Oh, cool. We actually were able to thread the needle on that one. Hi, you, proximity photon torpedoes engaged. Oh, 16 damage down on. Lovely. And once again, the AI is attempting to bomb us with all sorts of unpleasant things. We're going to walk right up to you and just do that to you. Federation firing pass. Lovely. Should pop out a couple of missiles on him. Come on. There we go. Unless the fighters get to it, he's... Never mind, he's got more than enough tractor beams to handle that. Now the gaming laptop, gotta get this game... It's not that intensive on resources. It was made back in 2001. You don't need a gaming laptop for that. Use an old 1998 IBM. It'll be fine. Finally got this game. Do you have it in the right resolution? Because that'll be the first thing. If you're using the fan patch, you gotta make sure that you've got it set to the resolution that you use. Otherwise, it's going to be all kinds of wrong. And if you're not using the fan patch, then yeah, it's just terrible. So we're gonna kick up the speed to full power, because we may as well get to this place. We're gonna have to fly to the listening post and then out, which is a bit unfortunate. Because it's going to take some time. We're also gonna go home and repair the ship a little bit, because we've got it a little bit more dented than it should be. Sort of wondering what direction we should take the campaign in, though. Whether or not we should sort of go into carriers again, like we did back during Season 10, or maybe go into dreadnoughts and battleships. Or just hang out in battlecruiser territory, which I'm not necessarily opposed to. I like battlecruisers, they're a lot of fun. Especially Federation ones, they're very flexible. You can do lots of things. You can't siege out all that well, but you can do lots of things. Gotta look it up, you don't... Do you have the join for... Do you have to join the... I don't know if you have to join the forums to deal the patch. I haven't done it in a very long time.
Go to war.
Alrighty, so we're gonna head on here. A successful scan of the listening post. Maybe we'll learn where the enemy is preparing to ambush us and ambush them. Yeah, the link is X-type Excelsiors. Oh god, please no. Please save me from 2 aft-firing photon torpedoes. Can I please take the New Jerseys instead? New Jerseys would actually not be a terrible siege unit, because they've got 6 photon torpedoes. I want to see battleships and battlecruisers. No, you don't have to sign up to download the ones. See, Laurendale's got the information. He knows. Quick check. We've got Light Dreadnought. Unfortunately, it is the old Light Dreadnought. The one made back in 2267. 11 years out of date, which is an eternity in this game. Alright. Fix the ship. And the 4 points of damage that you forgot the first time. A couple of spare parts. A Marine who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. 30 or so actual missiles. And we didn't use any shuttles that time. Lovely. Oh, great. Some diplomat's finally heard of us and he wants us to actually do the escort for him. Selfish jerks. Alrighty. Let's rock and roll. Who do we got? It is a single light cruiser, a single D5. Lovely. So we basically can bully him. The Federation doesn't get to bully people very often, but this is one of those times. Reinforce the forward shield, overload the photon torpedoes, and give me a forward shield hull beam. And make course. Although, we do play Orion Pirates Plus, not just the normal game. The normal game is cool, but doesn't have, you know, this. Like, literally, it doesn't have this. It is instead a somewhat low-poly Excelsior, which I'm not a huge fan of. So, I have actually been looking into starting to, like, get to work on updating some of the models and changing them with a couple of others that I like a little bit better. And, I actually have a Armada 2 folder that has a few of the Armada 2 ships. Yes, Plus Mod is amazing. Just for all the ships that it gives you. And I've been trying to figure out what ships to sort of take from Armada 2 and put in here. Because I'm thinking about removing the stock... not Romulan. The stock Klingon X-type battlecruiser and changing it with something else. Because I am not a huge fan of the Klingon X-type battlecruiser. I think it looks rather ugly. All weapon select, let's have fun with you. So, unlike most races, which when they have a battlecruiser that fights a light cruiser, which is actually a heavy war destroyer, we actually do not have enough firepower to just wipe him out in one shot. Slow down, slow down. Star Castle up. Okay, that was good. So we no longer have to worry about your incoming fire. Well, we do, but we hopefully will be able to kill your mothership before you get a chance to kill me. Maybe? Hopefully? You know what? I'm not going to take that chance. All phasers target the fighters. We're going to have to focus on you like Deep Space Nine. Not quite all of them. Still not all of them. Missiles away. Cut him off at the pass. Yes, I just launched 4 missiles on him. Can I get... There we go. Didn't need the missiles. See, we constantly waste missiles on fighters. It just is not worth it. Mainly because they can shoot them down so easily. But we also have managed to take out a shuttle bay again, so he's not having a great time. So IKV Devastator. We're just going to hang right here as you turn in hard to us. Yeah, that's right. Turn away. Don't turn into me. Because if you do, you'll actually be able to outturn me. Okay, photon torpedoes, phasers, and... yeah, let's give him everything. Hi. Bye. Oh, that was overloaded photon torpedoes too. Forgot. Lovely. Okay, so... all enemies defeated. We can go to green alert. And just kick on the power to full power. So there we go. Unfortunately, the Armada 2 pack that I managed to get my hands on doesn't have a couple of the ships that I actually really would want to put into the game. Like, I don't... there's a Romulan vessel that has, like... it looks kind of like a Raptor, and it's really cool, and it's not in that mod. So I will throw some crew into space and turn the rooms into extended missile racks. Well, if you give me more tubes and not necessarily more ammo, I'm down with that. But really, we need tubes, not ammo. And start to slow down. Because we don't want to ram into the planet. Because we've done that before. It's not fun. Usually results in a lot of whiplash that nobody's quite happy with. And we can stop here. Transporters. Take Mr. Diplomat and drop him off. There we go. Let's get up to speed and get away. Alrighty. How much are you going to give me for that? It's what, 290? 300? I was being wildly optimistic. It's 280. Okay. But that does, I suppose, solidify our hold on the planet. Pop back over here. Enigma. Lovely. Okay, remove more crew and do we don't need the lazy pumps. Well, the more crew you have, the easier it is to do things. Okay, we got a single Orion frigate hanging out in the middle of nowhere. Do you have anything on board, Mr. Orion frigate? You do have dilithium. Okay, so we got to steal your dilithium. Get ourselves up to full speed. We're going to forego overcharging the heavy weapons this time and just sprint immediately to get on top of him. The Klingons will show up eventually and we'll be able to take care of them as they show. And we have more free power. And gonna have to wait for the photon torpedoes to be fully charged. Oh, never mind, it's a Burrell. Well, probably not an actual Burrell. It's an E3DR. So an escort type. Shouldn't be all that difficult to take out. Especially with this single-minded devotion to try and destroy this ship above all other things. So get me a tractor beam ready. We're gonna basically latch onto him and really try and crack him into. So full speed. Oh, looks like one of our photon torpedoes didn't fully charge. It's a little disappointing. Forward shield, reinforce that one. Thank you. The incomparable. Hi. Well, he's not dead, but he might be in about 2 seconds.
Tractor beams set.
Oh, never mind. You weren't aimed at me. Okay, there. One pass is all it took. And our other buddy, our WR2. Let's see if the Game Master gets to it or if I get to it first. And we'll use phasers because that might be enough to completely wipe him out. This is actually a pretty dangerous ship design. It's 3 Plasma F torpedoes and a phaser 1. As a close-range kill boat, that's pretty crazy. Oh wow, you have shields? What? Since when does this happen? Okay, so we'll come at you one more time and see what happens. And we got it before the Game Master could. Yeah, if you're not fast enough on that, lightning bolts from God will suddenly come down and just annihilate it. So we managed to kill everybody. 210 prestige, and Empire Defense of 35. It's starting to get kind of low. Oh, and I think we got promoted to Commodore at some point, because I don't think that happened in the last time. Reload that, give us some more missiles, top those off. Get us convoy escort, I'm not gonna bother with it. And we'll keep on putting the pressure on. I want this planet. I'll take this shipyard assault. I've forced you guys to have to watch us shelling a planet for 23 minutes already. We'll take the shipyard assault. Oh, hi! You're a heavy cruiser. And we brought a friend this time. It's the Thunderclap. The Thunderclap is the close-range version of the Lord Bishop, which I'm not sure what that is, but hey. And it's a D7V. It's a D7VK. Check the yard. The ships that we're going to be getting are going to be like 5,000 and 7,000 apiece, so we're not at the prestige level yet to check the yard for anything. That is if we're going for the dreadnoughts. I mean, if we want to go down to like war destroyers or something, then yeah, we've got more than enough cash for it at the moment. And I don't feel like filling out the fleet to just constantly have to refill out the fleet when the fleet gets itself killed. I don't think we're going to overload the photon torpedoes this time. I think we're going to stay nimble. We're going to stay aggressive. So give me some point defense electronics, give me some shield reinforcement, and get the speed up to 15 so we've got some nimbleness. And lob a probe off in that general direction. It will go up to 16, just a little bit more. And I really hope that these Star Docks are not Romulan, because that would just make my life even more irritating. Okay, so you currently do not have missile racks, but I'm guessing the V means you're a carrier. We'll find out in another distance of 10, and that'll let us know. But he's packing 5 phaser 1s, 4 phaser 3s. So they downgraded the phaser 2s to phaser 3s. They removed the missile rack in its entirety along with the point defense rack in order to cram in a whole bunch of fighters. So I'm just going to continue to maneuver away from him. Who are you going to commit to? Me. Okay, of course. That actually, it's the better plan to come after me. I am the more dangerous ship. For now, anyway. Once he gets in close to that one, then he suddenly has a lot of damage. Of course, the AI does not know how to use that damage. This photon torpedo shot is beautiful. And not quite as accurate as I needed it to be. Phasers. Mine. Oh, I was really hoping to sort of draw you further away from that.
Rear port shield down.
Okay, so I got a nice big piece of him. He may have enough tractor beams to take care of that, but I was kind of hoping he didn't.
Stabilizing warp core.
Hey, look, there's my combat air patrol finally showing up to help. Well, their phaser 3s can do exactly to him what he did to me. Losing a shield like that is not tremendously fun. But we're about to have a nice phaser pass. Come on, be on time. Yes! Quite a bit of fire in there. If you keep turning in this direction, I'm going to be able to get more phasers on that open shield. Of course. Trying to bomb me too. So his entire forward half shields are gone, making him lovelily weak to the incoming fire. You're not gonna hit. Yeah, that was a waste of a mine. We do want to fix out that single phaser 3 mount, and we're not in range to properly engage phasers. More phasers. Never mind, didn't need to. Looks like he was just waiting to make sure that we actually cared. And we're going to increase the speed of time and make sure that our point defense is on. Good.
Setting tractors to defense.
So these are Klingon Star Docks, which means they are equipped with missiles, which can be somewhat irritating, although they're not tremendously dangerous. They're not Romulan Star Docks, which actually have plasma torpedoes and D-type plasma torpedoes, which just make them an outright pain in the butt to try and actually take down until you're in battleships. And they're not... Well, if they were Merak, that would be really irritating. And there goes the fighters group. Completely destroyed. Which means we're now the next most target. So I don't think they have extended rack magazines on these ones. We're going to have to slow down the speed of time if we actually want to survive. For some reason, the accuracy of your AMD is dependent on how fast the game is actually moving. Otherwise, things can get closer to you than they otherwise would. So we'll just have to slowly make our way in towards the KFRD. Looks like he's going with a maximum attack shift, so we will have to respond with a maximum electronic countermeasure to really just end his week. So he'll have more than enough ammunition to just continually blast away at us for, well, weeks. But we can get in nice and close and not care too much. Our point defense system's not quite capable of handling all the incoming fire. So we do have to actually rely on our phasers as well. Hey, more missiles. Slow down. Slow down to a stop, please. So I can shell this thing out. And we're a bit too close. That'll be fine. We'll be okay. Maybe not. We're getting really close. And am I gonna get under speed? I am not quite gonna get under speed. I had hope, but we are not particularly... Oh, because I was going at slow speed of time. More incoming fire. Okay, now we've got a problem. Not gonna lie, that was not anticipated. Get closer. Get much closer. Because my plan is to get on top of him so he can't ever fire missiles again. Whereas I can fire photon torpedoes at him. So the first dock is almost down. How much damage does that actually deal to us? Actually, none. Wow. You get hit by that many missiles, I was expecting something terrible to happen. So he's almost destroyed. Now we can't fire our missiles at him, but that's not a terrible thing at all because, well, he has enough tractor beams generally to deal with them. Although it looks like he's knocked out all of his tractor beams, so I guess not. Okay, one down. And we're good. Alright, so now we can just focus on this next one. They will focus on the other one, and everything will be a-okay. Oh, I despise shipyard assault missions. Because there's so much downtime in them. Like, planetary assaults, there's a little bit of downtime just simply because you have to shell out the planet. But we have to stop and then attack the next one and then get up to speed and then attack the next one. Just give me straight on battles. It is what I crave. It's the most fun mission. Yeah, those tractor beams are still capable of holding us at bay. Although our phasers hopefully will cut through everything. Fire phasers. Through again. Looks like a couple of tractor beams were dented according to the last assault. Oh, photon torpedoes already. Only 2 of them managed to hit. He doesn't have a shuttle bay anymore, so he can't launch fighters.
Losing missile control.
And almost through on this one. But yeah, the fact that they can turn at will, I believe they're the only station that actually can turn at will. There we go. Mission complete. Good. He actually defeated his before we got ours. That's a little sad. But kind of to be expected. So we could look at getting a New Jersey class, or we could just keep saving up to get a better Dreadnought, which I think is what I'm leaning towards. Our defense is 30. Gonna take a little while. Yeah, right now in the purchase screen there is only a battle station. There's a Federation BB and the Federation BBV. There's a couple of Federation battleships. Wow, we got lucky on that. I mean, we don't have enough prestige in order to buy it, but that would be interesting. Full-on Federation battleships are quite powerful. I mean, despite having the Type 10 the 10 photon torpedoes as your primary weapon, of which 2 shoot backwards, because somebody infected Starfleet with the idea of, hey, you need aft-firing heavy weaponry. That's what you crave. Instead of facing 10 photon torpedoes to shoot forward to make all of the damage in the world, you need to take some of that firepower and make it inaccessible. Thanks, Starfleet Corps of Engineering. Really doing a great job. Get ourselves fully equipped and we'll throw ourselves back into the teeth of the storm. Oh, an asteroid-based assault. Okay. So it's pretty similar to a repair yard assault, except then you also have the added frustration of having to deal with phaser force, but at least they don't have shields, which makes them easier to kill. And they're generally defended by terrible, terrible things. Are you for real? Oh, okay, you're not. Wait, no, are you a Dreadnought? He's a BRH-1. Well, it looks like a Dreadnought. So we're being escorted by USS Green, which is a CAR+R. So this is, I think this is the second final version of the Federation Heavy Cruiser class as a general CA type. Because the only other one that I can think that he's going to get is he will get the X refit to turn all of these Phaser 1s into Phaser X's. Yeah, that's a really solid escort right there. The True Sight, not so much. He's not particularly powerful. I mean, he may look powerful with his 6 missile launchers that are all C-Racks, which means he gets 12 missiles per turn. But make no mistake, 2 salvos of 6 is not 12 missiles per turn. Also, he only stacks up 4 Phaser 1s to add on top of that, and that's just kind of laughable. At a ship that is clearly supposed to be a battlecruiser, not quite on our level. Although he should be more than enough to take care of a pirate frigate. A DWP, I do anticipate... with pseudo-frigates. Who made your pseudo-frigates? They look Lyran. Are they actually Lyran? I'm more interested in what sort of pseudo-frigates this guy brought to the fight rather than what sort of weapons he has. Alright, probe, tell me before he dies. They are indeed Lyran pseudo-frigates. Oh, that's terrible. Everything about you is disappointing, sir. The capricious. Well, he's packing a whole bunch of phasers, which is not a terrible thing to have. He's just not very interesting. And there is the asteroid base. Okay. That asteroid base has 4 phaser 4s and 4 phaser 3s, which means we will be somewhat limited to how close we can get. Also, he can actually focus all of his phaser 4s onto a single target, which means it's a little bit more difficult to get on top of him. We'll go to full power. And get ourselves some forward shield reinforcement. Just mostly to handle the backlash or any sort of disruptors that are tossed our way. Got 1.5 points of power, that's more than enough for that. I could come in here and try and knock out these interceptors, but I'm not going to bother. He's a war destroyer. He's a war destroyer with red shields all around at this point. He's probably not going to survive the salvo. Well, actually, no, he isn't actually. Nope, did not survive. I wanted to give him a chance. I figured he had some opportunity. Alright, prep that. So, on the bright side, this starbase does not have any... I'm going to slow down to speed of 24. This starbase doesn't have any tractor beams. So, we can actually pretend that we're the Marek for a bit. And select our missile launchers. So, speed of 24, lovely. We're on course, on speed. Wait for the missile launcher to reset. And there we go. And we'll just continue on at maximum speed for now. And I think we can only control 6, but we may have as many as 8. It's 6, jeez. That is just terrible. I'm a little bit surprised he's not shooting yet. I mean, we are well within range, and normally they shoot right away. Are you the sole asteroid base that is actually not defended? No. No, you're most certainly not. Oh, not bad at all. 96 damage, which dealt with that salvo. So he's also spreading out his fire a little bit, which is not going to work well for him. Can your phaser 3s handle that? They can handle 2 of them. So 4 missiles is just enough to handle all of his point defense systems. So we toss in the green, adding his fire to the weight, and yeah, we've got a nice, easy asteroid base assault. Photon torpedoes, go proximity. Just get some damage out. Beautiful. And everybody actually managed to survive. The green almost died because he lost his forward shield, but other than that, everybody was pretty good. Maybe we could turn a couple of the pirate ships into Borg ships. That might be interesting. Empire defense is down to 25. So 5-ish more missions and we'll have this thing neutral. And then we can move in and actually steal it. A full planet, adding that to your empire, that's a lot of good stuff. Because then you can start getting even the better ships even sooner. Convoy rate, okay, that's just kind of what we were designed to do. Leap out, attack enemy defenses, enemy convoys and that sort of thing, and annihilate them. Get out before any actual resistance can be had. No escort for us on this one, and the enemy point defense is not in sight yet. But we'll get in there relatively soon and figure out exactly what it is we're aiming at. Okay, give me a forward shield reinforcement. Get ourselves fully kitted out in that way. As well as... do I want to bother? I'll go with 4 electronic countermeasure. For now. I mean, I'm going to steal from that budget immediately. But I want it available in time. Okay, so... have we run into the enemy yet? There you are! We've got a heavy cruiser. Alrighty, according to the fleet screen, we are dealing with a FD-7R, which I believe is an improved D7, isn't it? Or is it a drone D7? Wait, no, you're a drone D7, aren't you? Probe. Just to confirm what our suspicions are. Should probably pepper scatter pack. Shouldn't fall behind on that. No, wow, you're just an improved D7. Pretty significantly improved one at that. Got a lot of phaser 1s on top of that. So he's not going to be particularly fun to engage with. Slow down even more. Forward shield reinforcement. 12.5? That's okay. Slow down even more. I'm going to Star Castle this a little bit. I'm going to take his salvo and then return it with everything I've got. And hopefully... actually, maybe I can get him to... I could! Oh, yes! Lovely! Full power, full power. Get me behind him right now. And this is a little bit dangerous.
Executing high energy turn.
But I want this shot. I want this shot so badly. Didn't quite work out as well as that helped. Because the entire starboard side weapon system did not come into play. Okay, did not go as well as that helped. More power, more speed. Give me some distance here. Oh, I went for the classic shot and I wasn't able to get it. Drop a mine. Drop a mine, or drop some missiles on top of that mine. And we should both get away from it. Maybe not. Okay. So he can outrun me. He is, or not outrun me, he's much more maneuverable than I am. Let's get the phaser ones repaired. And the phaser 3s would be nice to have, just to deal with his return D. Is it B-Rack fire? Yeah. So the goal had been to get past him. Unfortunately, I started to slow down too much to actually go for that actual engagement. I was not expecting him to immediately break for the missiles. So if I had maintained a high speed on that, I would have gotten past him, turned around, and come in on his stern, where most of his power systems are. As it is, this has gone from a one-turn fight to a two-turn fight, which is not particularly fun. Let's see if I can't force you into doing that again. Especially with you turning like that. No, you're not going to respond. You're actually going to trust your point defense system. And that's what I wanted. 63 damage on through there. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't slow down. So we're not hitting anything serious yet, so we may have only just gotten past the armor. And I don't want to stay with him for much longer on this one. Let's see, can I rely on a missile salvo to get through this? I think I can. Because according to this, you have half of your racks currently offline. Maybe not. No, that's definitely not happening. Phase is about to become ready, and we should have an easy shot on through this. Another decent shot on through. 39 damage only? Huh. Would have figured a little bit more. We've knocked out his shuttle bay, which means he can't defend himself. So I'm going to wait to get a little bit of distance from him. Engagement range, I think, is 3. Although he has slowed down. So we've definitely got that going for us. Let's see how you'll respond to this. Okay, so your perimeter is 5. More speed. A little bit more speed. Oh, 3 of them got through. Holy crap. And he triggered the high energy turn. He didn't use it, but he triggered it. So I think we've got him here. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to basically alpha into his back. Because I think that'll take him. You were able to shoot them down. Unfortunate. I was hoping to stack them up with more missiles. But as long as you're shooting down those missiles, you ain't shooting your weapons at me. Come on. There we go. I'll get basically right on top of him and nail him with everything we've got. Oh, good mine. And got him. Unfortunately, yep, they got us too. Alright, where is the convoy? Whoops. We may have gotten a bit away from the convoy. Let's go sensors. Deep scan active. Because we can't be that far away from the convoy. Although he did a pretty good job of leading me away. Gotta give him credit for that. Whoops. May have lost the convoy. We got a bit too mixed up in actually fighting the fight rather than attempting to win the match. That is unfortunate. Whoops. Yeah, we went the wrong direction too, probably. So by the time we actually locate the... Hello, Sean. Welcome to the stream. Wait, you've been here, haven't you? Oh, I thought you were. It felt like you were here in spirit. So we have definitely missed out on this convoy, unfortunately. By the time we actually find it, it should be mostly off the map. But we did manage to completely annihilate his escort in rather roguish style. I'm just going to keep this going on a little bit faster, because it will tell us when we fail. It will let us know. Somewhere out there. We're traveling not at maximum speed. Let's go to maximum speed. See if we can't catch something. No. No, I'm going to call it. We don't normally do this, but I don't feel like trying to hunt down this convoy for the next 5 minutes. So a little bit of a waste. Wasn't able to kill the convoy. But it looks like it didn't... Oh, it did penalize me the 5 points for it. So we'll come back here, re-rig and reset. We sold the ship would make 1,500. Don't think that's quite enough to bother with. Because the ship that we're going to want is going to be something fairly large. Fairly impressive, like a battleship here. And for that, we need it, well, basically to double our money. Anything else sort of on the upper end here? No, there's another BCG, but if I was going to go for another BC, it'd be a BCJ. The New Jersey class for the additional siege capability. Because they're just better at it than the Kirov classes. Well, we're about to demonstrate that. With any luck, it'll be just normal standard PL instead of a PLPH.
Red alert.
It is a PL-15. Okay, good. And we're being escorted today by HMS Magnificent, who is one step up from a Lord Bishop. Not sure what that would be, though. And we do have a Dreadnought over here. According to this, it's a C9KR, but we also have another target off over there. So this is going to require a little bit different tactics than we normally do. We're not going to get in close. We're not going to try to bully anybody. We're going to operate from a long range and plink away at people. So photon torpedoes set into proximity mode. We're going to need to get our speed up to a fairly decent clip here, because we're going to need to command the engagement with our nimbleness. And I've got 13.5 points power. Set a probe so I can see what you are. Oh, you are not looking like a C9. But you are. Okay, so we do have two C9KRs. So this makes life somewhat difficult. We're going to prep a scatter pack on this one. We're going to prep multiple scatter packs because they're going to be our exploit weapon. So a single AMD, we can make use of that should the situation get in nice and close. But until that happens, we're going to use our photon torpedoes for the most part and just shell. Unfortunately, this ship, he's going to get in close, and he's going to get himself annihilated. They're light dreadnoughts to be sure, but that doesn't make them weak. It just makes them quick, which is the problem. So I need 8 points of power, honestly. That'll do. Fire! So maximum range engagement, and we turn away. We got 2 good hits. Nice. How much speed are you doing? You are doing 19.6 and climbing. And the maximum I'm going to be able to do is about 23. And oh no, I actually have more power. Okay, I will be able to do this. And maintain. Also, would like to probably get some electronic warfare going on here, but I'm not going to try it. They are both going to focus on him. He did manage to get a hit on him with his Hellbore, and that focused, it appeared on the forward shield, so I don't think losing 8 points of power to the forward shield would make that one the weakest one, but maybe. Normally the weakest shield on a Klingon ship is the back one. First scatter pack is ready. We're going to need multiple. We're going to need several. And I'm going to set the photon torpedoes to normal for now, because if we need them in a hurry, it'll be easier to just use them. But if we're going to use them in proximity mode, we're going to have time. So the Sword of Kalis, which is actually a pretty good dreadnought name. 19.7. Let's get some missiles going. Let's see how you respond to this. I'm hoping poorly, honestly. Okay, and we are starting to take fire from the other ship. And that's crash stop right there. So wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Actually, no. Just fire right away. Okay, so we're waiting for that. He is about to get nuked by 6 missiles, which he should be able to shoot down. But I'm hoping we can get a couple through. I'm hoping that his friend, the Vengeance, doesn't get close enough to provide supporting fire. Okay, doing a good job of weakening most of his shields. He was able to hold on to all of that, geez. Proximity. And break. Good hits on there, pulling away. Let's go, evasive maneuvers. So we're going to slow down a little bit, just so we have power to actually charge the photon torpedoes still. And we'll give ourselves a defense shift. And that's the point of the evasive maneuver, so he can't hit us as accurately as he has been. Already not able to quite connect with me. Good. And we'll sit under evasive maneuvers for a little while to get our systems recharged, because it actually does look like the Magnificent is just absolutely bullying the Kalis, which is working out very nicely. So as long as I can keep the Vengeance's attention and pull him away from it, those two can brawl it out, and that'll take care of him. Still getting a couple of good shots on me, so I'm going to see if I can't swing the shield reinforcement to the aft. So he will attempt to deal with it that way. If he turns away, man, I am going to go after you. In fact, Oh, I can't fire missiles at the moment. There's that. But as long as you stay very much fixated on me, I will just continue to be quite happy while the Magnificent kicks your butt. Okay, coming back in. He wants to say... He wants to go after us. He thinks he can take us. Well, he probably would be right if we went in for a straight-up engagement on him. Okay, already we've managed to recover enough power on our forward starboard shield to get ourselves back up to the bright yellows. Magnificent pulling away. How is you doing? You are still very much alive, and that's not cool. And you have... Okay, so you're not quite winning that fight anymore. You probably lost your fighters, that's why. So now he's blocking me, which is a good position for him to be in. However, I know how to abuse the AI. And so I will do so. Wait for it. Oh, not you, because you're an ally. Onto you. Eat this. And full power. Because, hey, look, it's crazy. Oh, you've got so many missiles coming at you. What can you possibly do? You must crash stop, because otherwise you'll be annihilated. Yeah, the AI can be dumb sometimes. So 4 seems to be the trigger point. While the Hydras, they don't know how to use fusion cannons. Yeah, they do not understand. So we're going to take his momentary lapse in judgment, and that's what I'm going to call it, to dive after the Sword of Kalis to see if he can't support photon torpedoes to normal mode, because we're coming in here with a shotgun. And...
Evasive action.
Evasive action. Ooh, I don't have quite as much power as I thought I did. That's okay. As long as I have the evasive action going for as long as I'm close enough to him where he'll get accurate disruptor fire, I'm happy with that. And we will basically ram it on the Sword of Kalis, because the Magnificent is basically getting completely gutted at this point. Alright, don't need that. I need that. So full power to engines, and we're just going to sprint into the Kalis. Already he's got a couple of shields down, so if we can get the right angle on this approach, we can just rip his heart out. As long as... Oof, that was quite the volley. Yeah, he is 20 away or so, so he shouldn't be super... I was about to say he shouldn't be super accurate, but then again I'm reminded that he's using disruptors, and disruptors are perfect plinking weapons from long range. They are accurate as you would not believe. Do you have a shuttle blade? Yes, he does. Okay, that's unfortunate. I have to maneuver through these mines. Because I want to force him at an angle where he's got to present his stern towards one of us, where we can just deal damage to the power systems. Just scare the could they, if they try to operate the vessels properly? Yeah, it would be like a player. At some point, I'm gonna have to actually start like playing this against other people who actually know what they're doing, just to see how if I actually know anything or if I only have learned how to abuse the AI. Oh, clever, clever, very clever. Oh, points. Definite points for that one. I gotta give him serious credit for that. That was fantastic. It wasn't good enough, but it was a great move. So we're on his stern. We have fully loaded heavy weapons. And... now. So that was a nice little run-through right there. Knocked out most of his systems. Well, not most of his systems. It did a good amount of damage to his systems. And we pull out of range of the bomb. Good. Start to slow down. He did not deploy a Wild Weasel, which I was kind of expecting, although... it's not the most brilliant plan to do.
Phasers set to point defense.
Point defense phasers back online, and we can slow down back to a regular combat speed. I anticipate you about to unload a ton of disruptors on me. No, you went for him. Interesting. Okay, his speed is down to 8.4. That was kind of what we had been hoping we would accomplish by that run-in. Oh, just keep hanging on to him. If you hang on to him, you can't avoid this incoming fire. Never mind. But you know what? I'm gonna kill him with that. He's dead. He doesn't even know it yet, but he's dead. So you are my next primary target. We need to get our photon torpedoes recharged. We need to get our phasers ready to go. And need to get some speed so we can get a good angle on this. One missile down. Oh, you were able to shoot them down. Ah, so you're actually still alive. I thought he had enough power systems offline that he would not be able to defend himself. So we're going to maneuver around in for another assault. And see if the vengeance goes for us or if he tries to go for the easy kill on the Magnificent. Because if we trade, then that's frankly a trade that we're going to win. Because, you know, it's a light dreadnought versus a battlecruiser. Who do you think is more worth what? Full power. Okay, so you cleaned him up. That's cute. You're very adorable together. I've got to give you credit for that. And you have fully loaded missile launchers. And this is a much closer engagement. So by the time you launch those, you're going to irritate me, aren't you? But I'd like to get a good angle here. Come on, reveal to me your weak defenses. Ooh, already getting some good Hellbore shots on. And now. And please tell me I ripped out the rest of his warp engine. Oh yes. Got it. Okay, so we took him down. Now we're down to just the Vengeance. Unfortunately, Magnificent is basically a Hulk at this point. It's not actually useful. He has a couple of Hellbores that he can use on occasion, but I think that engine explosion next to him did quite the number on him. So we're going to have to keep this fight at high speed and nimble. I think we still have a couple of these. I'm going to prep another one. So some light long-range fire. I'm actually going to invest in some point defense systems because I can't afford to continually just take hits like that. Otherwise, it's just going to... Oop! Not good. That was very not good. Lob a couple of missiles at him. See what he... What the heck? Okay, so we're lobbing a couple of missiles at him. See what we can actually do with this. If he's actually going to respond to the way that I hope he does. I don't think he will. No. He's either out of shuttles or he doesn't have much left. So he is unfortunately very good on consumables at the moment, though. So that is a bit unfortunate to deal with. And he's very good on shields and weapons at the moment. So, and you definitely chased me on that, didn't you? No, you didn't. Okay, so I currently am a positive defense shift. That makes him less accurate. I anticipate he will attempt to stop me on that. But on a little bit more. So he's getting some accurate fire in. Let's lob a couple more missiles at him. Really, I'm just trying to buy time while my photon torpedoes recharge. And avoid that mine. Didn't even realize I was avoiding that mine.
Scatter pack shuttle ready.
Okay, got a scatter pack ready to go. Well, you haven't responded to the last two. Let's see what you do with this one. Because we already know that you can only shoot down about 2 missiles at a time. Okay, how do you deal with 6? 1 missile went down immediately. 2 missiles went down, and 1 got through. Alright, so he's now holding on to several. Okay, he shot down a couple of them. Most of them. All of them. And if I can keep up enough fire with these missiles, I may just bleed that AMD dry. I don't think I have, but I might get there. Especially if I can just keep stacking scatter packs. What do you got? Oh, none at the moment. That's not good. Photon torpedoes are ready to go, so now we've got an angle to work with. So we can start coming in on him. Because he does have a weakened shield. Or at least he did have a weakened shield. So hopefully I can get a good angle on this. Drop speed. And a mine. And... okay, there goes his forward shield. So that's not great for him. And a point-blank range shot means he doesn't get to shoot them down. And, ooh, that's really good. Unfortunately, we're about to lose our escort, but his forward and aft shields are destroyed for the most part. So he's not having a good day. We need to build some distance again. Get ourselves sort of reset on the list of... I had help. I had just a minuscule amount of hope. But he has put a nice little sun wall between us and the enemy that we can hide behind while we recharge our systems. So phasers are fully charged. How much power do I currently have? Scatter pack is ready. I need a second. Ooh, I can't. So we're out of scatter packs. We have got what we've got. I'm going to prep a suicide shuttle or a marine shuttle. Doesn't matter. And I've got 2 missiles left. Okay, that's why we can't get another scatter pack. So the trick's gonna be to get that penetrating hit despite his defenses. Now we have knocked out one of his phasers, it looks like. So there is that working for us. But he didn't... he hasn't Wild Weaseled, which really makes me think he doesn't have anything left in terms of shuttles. So I'm going to stress test that a bit with my last scatter pack. And if that works, I'll follow up the subsequent missile barrage. So how are you going to respond? 1 missile shot down, 2 missile shot down, 3 missile shot down. And I'll add into this. And I've got... shot them all down, but that just took up 3 phasers at least. So I've got a brief window of opportunity. And I've got 2 more missiles on the way into you. 1 more missile on the... No more missiles on the way to you. And another shield opened.
Evasive action.
And we'll evasive maneuvers as we pull on through. For additional defense. So that right away gives us a defense shift of 2. Which puts us in a really nice position. So we're going to pull away. We're going to get ourselves restocked and rearmed. Although, with an open shield in the back like that, I really should go in for that. The other great thing about evasive action is it gives you a higher turn rate. Because you're putting more power to erratically maneuver the ship. So phasers are fully charged and I'm ready to go. Give me a forward shield reinforcement, please, because I'm going to need it. We don't have much power in the shield anyway. We do have an additional point defense going on, or a little bit of power going into the system. So if you keep it ranged like this, I might be able to really abuse you. Because he doesn't want to get close to me, it seems. I mean, he's maneuvering directly away from me at a speed of 18. And if I want to keep going towards that stern of his... This is fine. This is a good position for us to be on. So we're just going to try and hold into his 6 o'clock position and whittle away at that shield every other turn with our photon torpedoes. I'm going to get in as close as I can under erratic maneuvers, and then we'll drop it to fire the photon torpedoes and then rely on the defense shift given to us from the electronic countermeasure system, which is only 1 at this point. So it's not a huge amount, but it might be good enough to keep us working. Okay, a little bit more light phaser fire, not able to impact us. His disruptors will be dangerous because disruptors are great in terms of accuracy for weapons. And he is coming around bow on. Oh, I can't drop a mine. That's unfortunate. Because I want a mine to push him back. Nope, that's not going to work. Look at how maneuverable he is. This is a dreadnought. And he's able to basically turn it on a heavy cruiser. So I gotta wait until this stagger phaser fires. He's gonna fire quite a few of them. He hit me with that one, hit me with that one. And he's got 2 more he can shoot. Which he did, okay. And the disruptor. Erratic maneuvers off. Drop a mine. High energy turn. Oh, I think he's realized what's about to happen. Hi, point defense systems engaged. Phasers working. Photon torpedoes engaged. Oh, 3 good hits. Phaser follow-up. There we go. That's what we were hoping for. He is turning to, well, basically put us on a really bad position. More power. If I can just hang in here, I can make you pay a very high price. More power, more speed. We're going to rely mostly on our phasers if I can get around to that corner again. But he's out-turning me. Oh, God. He's a bloody dreadnought. He's out-turning me. But I've got a trick or 2. There we go. More phasers. More phasers. All of the phasers. Starting to do some serious damage to his weapon systems. We knocked out his automatic missile defense system as well. So come on, port side phaser. Get in there. Well, that's the phaser 3, not the port side phaser, but okay. Oh, that's very not good. Give me a repel beam right now. I heard that coming. Okay, we've got a single good shield at the moment. And he's about to put a lot of firepower on. Oh, wow, that was... Have fun with that, sunshine. Shields were surprisingly effective, able to keep us going. His forward shield is down again. His aft shield is down. And I've got a port side battery, which is about to be prepared to shoot down the back of that ship. And I will take this shot at maximum range because any hit that I make automatically resets him recovering that shield. So we're gonna have fun with you. Okay, I need to slow down to get those photon torpedoes back. He's down to a speed of 12.5, so he's dropped 6 points of speed. Now, for us, that would be 6 points of power. For him, that would be 12. Might be 8. 2 half photon torpedoes? No, they wouldn't. I'd rather have them on a forward fire. Half photon torpedoes are just ludicrous. I would rather have them in the front of the ship in 90% of all cases. Even now, I would rather have them in the front of the ship. So we're about to come in with another good phaser pass, because he is not having a good day at all. I missed. So I'm going to hold it just a little bit longer. Got to keep him at distance, because if he gets in close to do that again, that's going to hurt. Because we do not have a good shield anymore to sort of take that on. Your aft shield is down, then again, so is my forward shield. Okay, a couple of more missiles heading our way, but it's not a big deal since we're traveling faster than they are. He's also down to 10.9 points of speed. So he's losing even more bit by bit. Jumping into the mine. Enjoy that. He is facing us with a very powerful shield. So that is very unfortunate at the moment. Give me another 2 points of electronic countermeasure power and I will be sitting pretty. Are you going to fly into that?
Mine deployed.
But I need you to... Thank you. There we go. Another good hit. So 8.9 points of power. He's got no armor. We're basically working through him at this point. We're going to pull out around our own mine, get a little bit of distance. We also have a okay aft... We had an okay aft shield. But this is good. We're in an okay position. Maneuvering around to his stern is not going to be easy. But we should be able to manage it. Well, maybe not maneuvering around to his stern. We don't even really need to bother. His forward shield's down too, so we've got an opening right there. I'm going to reduce speed a little bit. How much power can you give me to the forward shield? In reasonably short notice. You've got 6.5 points of power in the forward shield. That's good enough for me. For now, anyway. Photon torpedoes should be ready on this next run. Oh, wow, I forgot that your entire starboard side is still completely unmolested. So I don't want to shoot at that angle. I want that stern. But I also don't want to overrun you because that's just too gosh darn dangerous.
Releasing mine.
As an aside, we also still then need to bombard the planet. I just felt that needed pointing out. Okay, but we're okay. Still okay. Point defense system, please.
Setting tractors to defense.
It really irritates me that he is a dreadnought and he is outturning me. Because I am a battlecruiser. I am supposed to be a stage lighter than he is.
High energy turn.
Okay, I gotta open up this starboard side, otherwise I'm not gonna get anything done here. Hi! I didn't want to make this turn. You made me make this turn. Feel proud of that accomplishment.
Their systems are
There,
online.
you don't have a forward starboard shield now. Are you happy?
Collapsed.
Well, he just put a hole right through my ship, so I suppose he's very happy with it. Okay, he's doing a pretty decent number on hurting me. Avoid the mine. It's my own mine.
Taking light damage.
Okay, but is he dead yet? He's about to be. I do think we've got him. I'm going to need that AMD back too. Because he actually still has missiles. We're actually doing okay. I mean, he's through the armor. That's the most irritating thing, is he's managed to break our armor. And because of that, every shot that he deals to us is going to go right through it. How many mines I got left? I think I'm out. Yeah, we're out of mines. We have nothing left on that. Photon torpedoes are about to be ready, though, and if I can get a stern shot on him, I can really, really make him cry. And if he turns in to come after me, I can get a bow shot on him and make him cry even more. Because that's where all his weapons are. He's not able to get through my point defense system either. Did you seriously? Oh yeah, because we hired a turn. Duh. I want the stern of your ship. I'm going to have it. You're not going to be able to stop me traveling at a speed of 8. And by getting there, I'm going to prevent you from being able to stop me. Show me the aft. Show me that I've got a target on his aft. Ah, he's making the turn back. Come on, get within a range of 8. Range of 8's all I'm looking for. A little bit closer. There. Ooh, only one hit. Not great. He did have 3 points of power in that. I can come in here for a nice little phaser barrage. There we go. Nice little crippling going on here. I've got another photon torpedo about to be ready. It's down to a speed of 4.7. Gotta get the starboard phasers on before I've got to turn away. Oh, hi. You're trying that crap again. Yeah, that did not work out well for you, did it? Come on, photon torpedo. There we go. Another 8 damage right on top of him. Duel of the Badlands. I suppose a little bit. How are we doing? How are we doing? What did we lose? Nothing important, actually. We didn't actually lose it. Still got 10 Klingons on board. We've almost got him. He's lost all engine power at this point. He's drifting. He's got 4 phaser 1s left, but it doesn't look like he's got any power in the system. I'm going to do this, increase the speed of time a little bit, so I can just get myself lined up. And we can just continue to shell him a little bit with phasers. There we go. Whew. That was a fight and a half. So that was 2 Klingon dreadnoughts versus, well, two battlecruisers. A Federation battlecruiser and a Hydran battlecruiser. If it didn't have, well, if I wanted to, if I really wanted to take the ship, I could have just sat still and just set myself over to using that mode, the disabling mode, and it wouldn't have blown up his ship. I could have just systematically annihilated every single one of his Marines. But I was impatient because I don't feel like waiting anymore. This has been a 25-minute mission. Oh, that was rough. Trying to take something quite that powerful is a little bit daunting, especially once you were already committed to this somewhat close fight. That's the thing about light dreadnoughts, is they're actually quite good at trying to pull you in and keeping you there. Alright. And we're gonna come over here, we'll go maximum electronic countermeasure. Pull ourselves into a park, basically right on top of you. Make sure that it's the forward shield that's being reinforced. It is. And once I get to myself to a distance of like 3.1, we will just sit here and shell the people off the planet. Yeah, that was one hell of a fight. And the Klingons are actually a race that the game does very well in terms of how it uses its AI, because it doesn't have a weapon system that the AI doesn't know how to use properly. Like, the AI doesn't really understand how to use plasma torpedoes, and it doesn't understand how to use fusion cannons. But disruptors, I mean, those sorts of long-range blinking shots are exactly what disruptors are for. And while it does respond a little bit too aggressively to missiles, once it no longer has any wild weasels, it can't screw up assessing the missiles anymore. So that was a pretty good fight. I'm pretty happy with the way we comported ourselves in it, and I'm pretty happy with the way that the AI fought it, because the AI did a pretty good job with it too. So the planet is still able to repair its systems, although there's not going to be many people left on this planet in a short period of time. We've already got them down to 7 from 20. It only took a couple of salvos. So the shortest part of this mission is going to be the actual planetary assault. So just a little bit more fire, and we knock out 2 more people, and we'll be able to beam more people over. Which hopefully will happen with the next phase of launch. It did. Lovely. Marines. Alrighty, now we wait. Oof. 27 minutes is basically what that took us. 24 of which were fighting 2 dreadnoughts. Light dreadnoughts, but dreadnoughts. They were the improved style of dreadnoughts. So, well, the improved style of light dreadnoughts, because they were C9 WVs or something, or WRs. So they had a couple of nice quality of life upgrades that filled in a couple of their weaknesses. All though, pretty good job there. Although it's only going to give us 495. It really should have awarded us much more than that, given what we fought, but... well, you gotta be happy with what you can get. We only took 28 points worth of damage. Wow, that's actually impressive. With all the hits he got through the armor, I was expecting much more than that. We went through all 8 mines, and we used 9 spare parts. So that battle could have gone much, much worse. To be fair, part of that battle went so well because we had our Hydran friends who basically tanked half of the world. Real shame that they actually had to die in the end. And a shipyard assault. So we go from what was super fun and interesting because of the way that it actually fought it out to, well, another heavy cruiser and a whole bunch of stations. FD-7R. Okay, so you're going to be the improved battlecruiser, which is unfortunate because you're actually difficult to defeat. And we have no escorts on this one. So, parade clock is that key? No, that's something. Not that key. Send a probe as soon as we can. That way we'll get actual detailed information on what we're fighting. And I want 2 points power on ECM. I want forward shield reinforcement going on here. I want a probe being sent, so I can figure out exactly what sort of Stardock I'm fighting. And RFRD. Oh, crap, it's a Romulan Stardock. Of course it's a Romulan Stardock. Okay, so we're not going to have a fun time of this. Proximities. Fire, break, and set aft shields to the reinforced level. So I'm not getting involved in this. Well, we're going to fight this, but I'm not going to fight him in a classical get up close to him, nail him with heavy weapons fire, and just trade blows. We're going to fight this in the way that Federation light cruisers fight battles. That is nimbly and aggressively. Push him away. He can fire all he wants, but he's having a little bit of trouble nailing us, which is good. Come on, you can come after me if you want to go through that. We're also going to prep a scatter pack. I can get over to the button. There it is. He's maneuvering hard to avoid the mine. So at least he still has some concern for mines. And we're gonna make him attempt to defeat these with a Wild Weasel. Because he will. He got all 4 of them too. I just want to point that out. He has deployed a Wild Weasel right here. It's going to take some time before that fully turns off on its own, because he will accelerate beyond the speed with which it can cover, but he completely wasted it because he was able to defend all of that. Give me 2 points of power to the countermeasure. Let's go in, because we're going to lob a couple of photon torpedoes this way. Okay, some incoming fire. Managing to take it on our port rear shield. And keep within 30. Yep, he deployed them once they got probably to a range of about 5. So they're not particularly clever. Oh wow, that was 16 damage to his forward shield. He's not going to have a good time with that one. So electronic countermeasure, I'm at 2-2, which is fine. He's attempting to stop me. How much power do I currently have in the aft shield? It is 1.5 points of power. I'm going to stay with that. Because anytime he doesn't have 2 points of power in this, he's going to lose that. And even his disruptor is not being particularly efficient this time. We're just going to keep the distance nice and wide with him. And we're going to take advantage of fighting things the way that a Federation heavy cruiser should be fighting things. Which is at range, without ever quite getting within range for the enemy to reply. Now he is definitely starting to get up to speed, so this is as fast as I can go, probably. Without starting to sap my electronic countermeasure. Which he's not powering, so I'm going to give myself 2 more points of speed. Just to keep the range wide. They managed to nail it with that one. But not with that one. Interesting. And he's doing 27, 28. He's going to go up to 30, it looks like it. So we're going to come in with another photon torpedo proximity attack. And if I can get 4 more shots on the bow of that thing, then he's going to have a really rough day. Come on, come on. I got that bow shot. Give it to me. There we go. 2 more good hits. How much forward shield do you got left, man? Not much, as it would happen. We'll lob these out in his direction, see how he wants to respond. I'm hoping he responds by crash stopping again to allow me to build out the distance. He's basically running away from them, which works perfectly fine for me. Ah, the Kirov coming into her own. So we're just gonna set him to our stern and let him deal with those missiles, and we'll just build out the distance while we reset the photon torpedoes once again, because his forward shield is almost gone. And with no forward shield against a Federation ship, well, he's going to have a really, really rough day. And just keep directly away from him while we wait for our weapons to recharge. Although, he's never going to get caught by those missiles. He's traveling more than fast enough for it. Our medium speed missiles are only doing a speed of 24, so speed of 31? Yeah, he's building out the distance every single time he moves. Although at the same time, he's also closing the distance with us quite heavily. So coming around for another photon torpedo strike. Gotta wait until he'll actually commit into coming towards us, and then we'll nail him. Because within a range of 30, I believe we're 50% accurate with our photon torpedoes. Come on, come towards me. You know you want to. I will set these suckers to normal mode, and then you will be crying. Don't think that I won't, friend. Alright, we're committed to this attack at this point, I think. Switch it over to the front shields. We're gonna have some fun with you. Because if he wants to use all of his heavy weapons, then he's got to bring the bow around. And he doesn't want to do that. Set to normal. Oh, that's a scatter pack. How cute. Give me that bow, give me that bow, give me that bow. That's the bow! Oh, it was not the bow, but you put me in a great position to follow up. Give myself a little bit more speed and we're fine. So we managed to not actually hit the bow of his ship, which is cute. But I am going to send over a couple of missiles, see how he wants to deal with that. He's going to hold on to that one, which is not great for him. Because holding on to that missile means he's got to spend a point of power for that. Hi, do you want to run off the map for me? Just make my life easy. Come on, you know you want to do it. You're more than willing to travel completely off the edge of the map. Although I should point out that I did not click that button in time. He is much more nimble than we are. So he is more than capable of making that turn before we can. So we've taken a little bit more damage than we wanted to, but we're still okay. Especially as the photon torpedoes come back. It's doing a speed of 21, which is missile speed. Unfortunately, his AMD is still intact, which is a bit unfortunate. And our AMD is a little bit dented. Okay, we're going to pull through on this one, I think. He might be able to shoot back at us. But I'd like to get the starboard side shield facing him. Yep, shooting back over the shoulder at us. But we will get the starboard side shield interposed. Okay, we got half our photon torpedoes ready to go. Let's... sure, why not? So we managed to nail him with one of our photon torpedoes. So his forward port, or his forward starboard, and his aft starboard. Yeah, yeah, they can get a little bit closer. I mean, we've fought them over a border like that before. And that's the close range. Hi, a little bit of opening phase fire. I was really kind of hoping that that would open up the shot so I could actually get my missiles through. But apparently we didn't stun anything important. So, am I actually beating you in a turn? This seems wrong. But I'm not going to complain because beating Klingons in a turn is always fun. A little more phaser firepower just to make sure that he understands that we are not happy with him. And he responds with nothing too efficient. The divine snare. Oh, I think we stunned it. Yes, we stunned it. We got a bit of a cascade failure going on here. 2 more phaser shots over the shoulder. Got him. Okay. So now we can actually focus on the Stardocks, which are somewhere. So, oh, there they are. So we've got 3 Romulan Stardocks, which is very, very unfortunate because they can defend themselves quite well. They are equipped with F-type plasma torpedoes, which are painful, as well as D-type plasma torpedoes, which means basically no missile assault is going to get through. Not that it would anyway, because their tractor beams are just ridiculous. But the plasma torpedo especially is going to make just life irritating to have to deal with. It takes them 3 turns to charge it, so there is that working for us. So as long as we can just basically park up, we've got 22.2 points of power that we can throw into the forward shield. Although, if I want to actually get anything accurate, we're gonna need to get on top of them, which is gonna be really irritating. I'm gonna pull off in this direction so I can line them up. That way they're not easily able to shoot at one of my weakened shields. And make sure we have things, yep, we're set up to protect the forward shield. So at point blank range, 22 points of damage, or 22 points of reinforcement, we can handle a 20-point damage our F-type plasma torpedo. Will you stop poking at my weak shield? Okay, I'm going to see if I can't draw out him to fire that plasma torpedo. Because he's going to want to. He can't help himself. There it is. Okay, so we've got a limited opportunity. I didn't want you to do that. Probably should have turned that off. In fact, I'm going to this to off and that. So I've got as much forward shield power as I can manage. Yeah, there's no way we're getting anything through. Oh, I forgot, of course. Marines, hit and run, blow that up. Hey, we killed it, nice. Alright, so we've managed to take out his most irritating feature. So we have a few turns of just laying into him until he can actually defend himself. Okay, 1 down. Wow, that went way better than I was expecting. So that is the best Stardock assault we've probably ever done. So on to the next one. And we're going to basically do the exact same thing over and over. Romulan Stardocks are irritating. Fighting any of the other races with the Stardock is not quite as bad. But the Romulan, the Gorn, and the ISC. Can't forget the ISC. Okay, bounce that off the shield. No trouble. Our shields are basically back to 100%, which is lovely. Fire. And kill that, please. And we're going to pass on through. Get ourselves a new angle. And we got that one too. Okay, good. Wow. I didn't realize that that anti-plasma torpedo was so weak to damage. Come back around. I'm gonna just stop so he can't bomb us anymore. Because it's a truly irritating tactic. Just make sure that we shut that off. And he does have his anti-plasma torpedo back. But if I do enough damage fast enough, I might be able to kill him before it comes back online.
System destroyed.
Oh, it's already dead. Cool. So we've knocked out most of his defenses at this point. Let's get a little bit closer. Ah, yes, the little waddle walk that they do. To steadily bring a different face of the defenses on. There we go. Alrighty, on to the last one, just as soon as we clear this mine. Because I don't want to get blown up by it. It's a very painful mine. This one took about 15 minutes at the end of the day. So a couple of really interesting battles towards the end. The twin dreadnoughts and then this one. Although knocking out FRDs is not exactly difficult. Just time consuming. Alright, come on. Shoot your plasma torpedo. Thank you. Yeah. Do whatever you want. You're not going to be efficient. Fire leg. And stop. So you don't get to do that to me. So again, make sure that we don't have this selected. Good, so we knocked out that one as well. Okay. This has just been phenomenal in terms of Marine boarding parties. We're normally not quite that active and efficient. Okay, he's down to below half. So now it's just us sitting on this mine. Come on, give me one more shot. Okay, not quite. How long are you going to stay in cloak? This could be bad. Okay, so I gotta wait until he decloaks. Because otherwise I'm not gonna hit the broadside of Orion. Hello! 2 more shields knocked down. Forward shields are able to take that monstrosity. Knock that up, please. Romulan cloak hopper. There we go. We've dealt enough damage so that he can no longer cloak. And that makes our lives just a little bit simpler. We gotta get ourselves a bigger ship. If we're gonna do more siege work in enemy territory, we've got to get a bigger ship. Or at least one better at sieging. 450 prestige, of course, is our reward. It's down to an Empire defense of 20. But that is going to do it for today's episode, I think. Actually, no. Because I start the streams 5 minutes early now. So we've got a little bit more. We got at least one more mission left in us. So we're going to quickly repair the ship and go out and fight one more battle. Because I forgot, I now start my streams 5 minutes early, and so the fact that it now says about 2 hours on my thing is not actually accurate to how long we've actually been streaming. So let's kick things back up. We're going to re-equip, reassess, and set ourselves out to go hopefully annihilate one more thing. And yes, I deliberately went out here instead of the planet because I wanted to hopefully avoid that. A Bismarck? I don't like the plasma torpedoes in the Bismarck. I think it takes too much power without giving enough firepower. I think the Jersey might be the best way to go. Because New Jersey classes are... they've got 6 photon torpedoes. I don't think there's a tier pits in this game. There might be, but I don't think there is. So... no? Nothing on scanners as of yet. Let's get ourselves to some level of reinforcement. Oh, what are you? You are a heavy cruiser. You appear to be a Katinga. But you're not. You're an 86K. But you look like a Katinga.
Probe away.
Are the tier princes in the game? Is that a dreadnought? That's the... Is that the DMP? Alright, let's get our photon torpedoes to overload on this one. We are prepping a scatter pack. Forward shields are not yet reinforced. We need to change that right away. He's packing... No disruptors. Really? Are you a carrier? And that one. 86K. Huh. He's got 2 missile launchers, no disruptors. That's gotta be a carrier. Well, then that most certainly does not exist in this game. 100% does not exist. Ultra heavy photons, 20 in proximity mode. So they would be doing 40 damage when they hit, and 160 damage in overload. Which would be awesome, but it's not in this game. Partly because ultra heavy photon torpedoes are not in this game. Let's get the forward beam going on. Alright, so I know for a fact that he can shoot down this entire missile salvo. But I'm hoping he will respond in the exact wrong way about this missile salvo. Also, he's not deployed any fighters, so he's not a fighter carrier. So he's an escort. An escort heavy cruiser. That is a fascinating idea. I mean, he's got 4 AMDs. I mean, that's impressive as all hell. So I'm really just kind of hoping... He did! Oh my god, he did! Why? You have more AMDs than you know what to do with. Why would you do that? Alright, line him up. Just line him up. The moment that shuttle stops being effective... Oh, he's actually going to get really close to me. Well, we're about to take a lot of splash damage. It's going to suck, but we may kill him with this shot. Yeah, we're not dead. Shut that off. Full power. But we did manage to chunk through his entire forward shield and did 72 damage on top of that. Heroic like ship construction with... I don't know. I don't know if that would be awesome or if that would just be weird. Get the lab repair going on. Want that back. There's no way any amount of scatter pack is getting through that. This would actually be something that you would take against the Marak, and it would be relatively effective against them too. Got a lot of phaser firepower on that boat. I think the best idea may be to just let you drift away and then nail you with photon torpedoes. I'm on board with that strategy. He's only doing 12.7, which means we really did take a chunk out of his power. I mean, with a hit like 72, yeah, we definitely took a chunk out of his power. It's just kind of unfortunate that the AMD doesn't actually take any power. So we'll maneuver back in on him. How much power do I got? Leave 1 point. Salvage 2 parts of a K-7, we can build another if we kill it. Yeah, that's kind of the reason why it doesn't quite work. If you're a mercenary company, that kind of works, but it would just feel a little bit off to be like, hey, you're in the Federation Navy, and now, here you go, salvage this Klingon heavy cruiser. Like, I get the idea of modifying a couple of ship systems, but I don't know where that would go. I'm not sure I'd be 100% on board with that. I want the refit system back. Oh, there goes another shield. 26 damage? Oh, because I fired those in normal mode. Whoops. I meant to fire them in proximity. His phaser arrays are being quite irritating. If you have 4 or 5 parts to a hero mech, nope. Nope. If it is a named or special mech, you don't get it if you get normal parts. So yeah, that 4 parts of a gauntlet we have right now, we can't use it until we run into another gauntlet to steal that part. Which is also, incidentally, one of the reasons why I'm not updating to the most recent version of Rogue Tech, because there's a mod in it called Loot Magnet, which like bundles up different loot. Like if there's heatsinks, it'll bundle them up into like 5 heatsinks in one purchase, or in one loot allocation, which is great. The problem is that it also includes a system where the employer can withhold mech parts from you, except it's currently bugged and it's doing that at a much higher rate than what it should be. Yeah, the Hydrants do have salvage Klingon designs, don't they? And the pirates definitely use just anything they can get their hands on. Wow, you're doing 3.5, really? That is very sad for you. Let's come in and just annihilate him. Because I don't think you survived my photon torpedo run. I think I've got enough firepower built into that to just utterly gut you. And... go. Oh, nope, you survived. Feel proud. Did I hit any... I've only nailed out one of those AMDs. I've knocked out most of his phaser 2s, but I've only done a little bit of damage to his AMD. Yes, your employer can withhold salvage, which is a little bit bugged, and so he withholds too much and too often at the moment. And that gets reduced as you have a higher reputation with your employer, but it's certainly an interesting system to have to deal with. Well, if you think about it, it makes sense. Your employer doesn't... your employer obviously doesn't want to give you just a random atlas. But yeah, I'm waiting until that mod gets fixed a little bit. Also, I have suggested that they should add in a system where you can take the part anyway, as long as you take a reputation hit. Because that's actually in the books. Like the campaign books for running a company. Alrighty, 222 prestige for that one. Tile neutralized. We're going to go back home. We're going to patch up with 12 points of damage plus the additional 4 that randomly just did not get worked on. Missiles restocking. We spent 8 of them. And we didn't need any shuttles. And that's going to be the end of the stream there. So it's been a couple of weeks since we were able to stream because of the weather constantly interfered, but we finally got a chance to pick up our Federation campaign once again. Got into a couple of really rough battles against a couple of battleship, or dreadnoughts. Although I suppose you could name them battleships. Yeah, got in a couple of rough battles against a couple of Klingon dreadnoughts. Managed to come out victorious in the end. And have weakened their next planet down to Empire Defensive 20, which means hopefully we shall have it soon. But anyway, I've been Tirak. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I post one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.